This is the clip here, see? Another clip. All right, not important. Good? All right, so here we are. The makeup of a human being. The makeup of a human being is that he has intellect, and in the intellect he has a conscience, and this conscience is the seat of impulses of what's right and what's wrong. And then he has a natural human soul that doesn't care what's right or wrong. He just cares about what feels good. And then he has an intellect in the middle that decides, should I listen to my conscience or should I listen to my... A Jew has also an intellectual soul. And he also has, if you want to call it, a conscience. But his conscience and his intellectual soul, it perceives somehow or other that there's God. That there's God that's creating us. That there's God that's more real than we are. Our whole entire reality and our entire being, time, space, as Zechariah says, everything in the world is being created constantly by God. Everything.
The hospitals, the schools,
everything in the world. But do we feel it?
stores,
We understand it.
schools,
Very good.
everything.
Do we understand it? Do we feel it? Does it have really an implication? Does it change what we do, what we say, what we think? But we have this feeling. It says that's the intellectual soul of a Jew. Because it has this feeling, so therefore it can be woken up. Let's go back to our example of the deaf man that sees somebody playing music. He feels inside of himself that there's something going on over there. So you have to have somebody that gives him an operation. Here in our case, we feel that there's godliness, but we're deaf and blind. We don't see it. And that's what Chassidut is. The ideas of the Rebbe. The ideas that the Rebbe, the Lubavitcher Rebbe's bring, the Chabad Rebbe's bring, it's to make us, to give us the chance to open up our intellectual soul and feel godliness. To feel godliness. It says, Ukamaimer. It says, Ukamo begashmis, like in physicality. Anu roim de kasher. The first word in the line is ha-adam. See where it is, Zechariah? Ha-adam. Look down. It's like 8 lines, 10 lines from the top of the page, from the top of the paragraph, at the top of that paragraph, second paragraph. Here, give me your page. Here, ha-adam. There. Kasher, when a person, mevin or masig, when a person understands and grasps an idea, bahavana v'hanach tova, with understanding, and it becomes very, accepted by him. As ba'im leik zich up their inyan sichli, by him, this whole idea is sehr good. The idea by him is accepted very well, right? Some people understand computers. Some people understand music. Some people understand mathematics. Some people understand law. Right? There's lawyers that they get, I don't know, $1,000 an hour. I don't really know, but they're tremendous amounts of money. Why? Because it's all in their head, and they have a sense of what's right. They can remember things. It's worthwhile. You get another lawyer, he takes $100 an hour, $50 an hour. You're saving money, but the person doesn't have the awareness, the intellect. If he works for 10 years, he's not going to come to the conclusions and the approach that this other lawyer comes. Sometimes you can understand an idea and it's accepted by you very well. As soon as you accept an idea, right? Communism. The idea of communism is accepted by you. Then as soon as you understand this very well, this is the answer to all the world's problems. I understand. I've been such a fool. Now I understand the idea. If I would know him, and it says we're talking about God, if I would know God, I would be God. Same thing here. If you know communism well, you know democracy well, if it clicks by you, then that's it. That's the whole answer to the world's problems. Der hayinu, from der yediyah, hakavana, hu memole miyediyah hasaga hahi. You become totally convinced and full of this idea that you're convinced by. Right? You hear Ronald Reagan speak, oh, this is my man, right? In Israel, politics in general. Menachem Begin would speak, the whole crowds would go berserk. Everybody was convinced. All of a sudden, you become a whatever it is, a rightist, a leftist, whatever it is. The kol yediyah v'asaga hine makomo hu b'moach barosh. Anytime a person has an idea that's trying to convince him how to live his life, all ideas are in your brain. The inyan hayita, but in ideas that change your life, that change your whole being, hu shayadiyah hahi, that this idea that you have, this knowledge, hine lo rakshu b'mocho, not only does it go into your brain, ki im shemamaligan levavo, it fills his heart. V'levushe nafsho, and it fills his garments of his soul, thought, speech, action, chushe nefesh. And that's what they try to do when they make you into a soldier. A person goes in to be a soldier, he goes to boot camp, they erase your civilian identity. You're no longer a civilian. You become a soldier. A soldier is a person that all he does is listen to orders. Right? You go up to a civilian in the street, you give him a gun, say, go over there, take care of all those people, right? Wipe them all out. They'll say, you're nuts. What are you talking about? They're talking about. In the army, the sergeant says, go over there and kill all those people. He goes in a second, doesn't it? Right? That's the enemy. He becomes a totally different person. That's why a lot of these people, when they finish the war, they have this syndrome, right? What is it? Post-traumatic syndrome, because they're totally into being a soldier and they react to being a soldier. And when they get out, there's no reactions anymore. There's no impulses, right? You have to be a totally different person. But nevertheless, ideas, if you accept them and they're how do you say, worked out, they totally change your whole being. That's what all these religions are. You get Scientology and this landmark and all this other junk, right? They're really worked out well ideas. All these religions also, they're ideas that are really worked out very, very well. They're based on people's fears and lackings and needs and worries and anxieties, right? And they say, we're going to take care of that. You're going to receive this. And all you have to do is this and this. And it conquers a person's whole being. The person becomes totally conquered and convinced that the only way to heaven is, Jim Jones or whatever these people, right? Drink the Kool-Aid. How do they say? Shem Ishmor. There are those people that even when they understand an idea with a good understanding, sometimes a person can understand an idea and not do according to what it is. Right? The classic example are people who are addicts. Right? Addicts, I've had contact with people that are addicts. Addicts are, if you can say, one quality that all addicts have in common is they're all liars. They're all liars. They can lie with a straight face to get what you want. You can convince them of anything. They'll cry, look what you did to your family, look what you've done to yes, you're right, you're so right, 100%. And as soon as they can go out and get another drink or go gambling again, they'll do it. In other words, the ideas are 100% yes, but it doesn't change them one bit. Rak shemaskim shehaskala tova, he agrees that this idea is good. V'niklata b'tov, and he accepts it very well. He can even open up himself his own center for rehabilitation, whatever it's called. Mispal b'mocho, and he gets really excited in his mind. Al tiva haskala, on the wonderful ideas that the person has. V'itpalot zum molido hitorut alev, and sometimes he even gets excited in his heart that he can start to cry or weep. V'itpalot midas mamash. V'achar kol zeh, and after that he becomes excited and he stands on the stage and he talks about the importance of family peace and treating your wife right and how you have to. Then he goes home and beats his kids, beats his wife. Right? He only just agrees el haskala with the ideas. But he doesn't really change his actions.
But could you do tshuva?
Everybody can do tshuva. You have to summon up power from your soul to actually take seriously what you agree with. Right? The person goes to AA, Alcoholics Anonymous, or NA, or GA, Narcotics Anonymous, Gambling Anonymous. There's I don't know, 10, 15 of them, and there's hundreds of different types of addictions, if not thousands. And all of them are the same thing, right? A person way down deep, he loves that feeling. And it's not anything that's illogical or intellectual whatsoever. He just knows he can agree with everything, he can explain all the ideas and one thing, but as soon as he hears about a chance to go and gamble or that, he's there. Why? Because he doesn't summon up the power in his soul to stand against this urge. Like they say, just one day at a time, 1 hour at a time, 1 minute. Do it at 1 minute at a time. He agrees with the ideas. Let's now take this to talking about God. The intellectual soul, that it agrees with the nature of the intellect and the emotions of the godly soul. A person can go to yeshiva, and he can put on let his beard grow and tzitzis and tefillin and pray and learn. And he can be a big rabbi. And he can be the head of the yeshiva. Right? And he knows it's bad to lose your temper. He knows that it is. And he knows that it's bad to lie. He knows it is. Right? But if somebody gets in his way and somebody says something against him, he goes berserk. He loses his temper and starts to scream. And if it becomes a matter of getting money for his yeshiva, he's willing to lie. And even not only for his yeshiva, for his home, for his house, for his personal needs. He needs a new car. He needs to do this. In other words, he really understands and feels the ideas, but the ein zeshu atzono nishtaneh. He does not change by means of his putting of the intellect of the godly soul to who, like he should be like the godly soul wants. The Jews at Mount Sinai, they said, we will do and we will hear everything. God, our souls jumped out of our bodies. This is amazing. God took us out of Egypt. 40 days later, they all worshiped the golden calf, or they participated. The person remains with his own mind, Ella shu maskim. He just agrees. Al teva seichel, with the intellect and the midas of the godly soul. There was a person in Israel. He helped Chabad tremendously. His name was Rabbi. His name was Zalman Shazar. Zalman Shazar. He loved religion. Loved it. He loved Chabad especially. He had meetings with the Rebbe that just, but he didn't do Torah and commandments. Maybe in the end of his life he did some, could be. He just didn't connect with it. And he knew it was the right thing to do, and it was right? In other words, it didn't really change the person himself. Right? This is not a lashon hara. Everybody knew it. It was a thing that it. So in other words, it is possible. What is the solution? We're going to find out in next class, God willing.